I never expected the end of us to start in a coffee shop on a Tuesday afternoon. The rain hammered the big front windows like it was trying to break in. And the whole place smelled of wet wool coats and fresh espresso. Mia's fingers brushed my wrist as she set my latte down.
I mean, seriously, the odds of that are
Honey,
insane.
You've been staring at that door for 5 minutes. Her voice was soft,
You're overthinking this, Jules.
playful.
It's gonna be great. Yeah,
You throw at someone you've only been seeing for a couple weeks. I laughed it off, but my stomach dropped. Because standing just inside the doorway, umbrella still dripping onto the mat, was Eve. Her green eyes locked on mine, then flicked to Mia's hand on my arm.
Please let me explain.
And something cracked open in her face I'd never seen before.
I just can't.
Not anger. Not even sadness. Just this raw, unguarded pain that made the air between us feel too thick to breathe. She turned and walked out without a word. The bell above the door gave this pathetic little jingle that felt louder than it should have. I left Mia mid-sentence, mumbling something about forgetting my keys, and chased her into the downpour.
Wait!
Eve.
Please, wait for me!
My sneakers slapped through puddles. The rain soaked my hoodie instantly, cold fingers sliding down my neck. She didn't stop until we reached the little covered bus stop 2 blocks down. When she finally turned, her dark hair clung to her cheeks in wet strands and her chest rose and fell too fast. What the hell was that?
Why didn't you tell me he was still alive?
I asked,
I thought he was gone forever.
voice shaky. She just stared at me, water dripping from her lashes. Nothing.
After everything we've been through, this is how you treat me.
The word came out like it hurt her to say it.
I can't believe I ever trusted you.
Then she laughed once, short and bitter, and looked away at the traffic crawling past. That was the moment everything I'd buried for 3 years clawed its way to the surface. Because Eve had never admitted she loved me. Not once. Not in the 2 years we'd shared that tiny apartment above the bookstore on Pine Street.
Best decision we ever made.
Not during the late nights when we'd split a bottle of cheap red and talk until the sky turned gray.
And we'll figure it out together.
Not even when our knees brushed under the blanket on the couch and neither of us moved away. It had started so simply.
The last tenant left because the books
I'd
were
answered her
talking to
Craigslist
her.
ad for a roommate after my ex
almost
decided
hung
she
up.
needed space and moved to
You're
Portland.
kidding me.
Eve was 26. Quiet. Guarded smiles. Working freelance graphic design from her bedroom. While I pulled espresso shots downstairs at the cafe. The first week we barely spoke beyond, your turn for dishes. But then one night the power went out during a storm and we ended up on the living room floor with flashlights and a deck of cards. She beat me at every hand. I groaned. Ugh. You're ruthless. Eve's laugh was soft. Surprised. I don't trust anyone who lets me win. The words hung there between us. Simple and heavy. I sat up and looked at her, really looked. The way the flashlight caught the faint scar on her left eyebrow. The way her fingers tightened around the cards like they might betray her. I don't trust anyone, she said then. Quieter.
I don't trust anyone.
It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't a sob story. Just a fact she dropped between us like a stone. I didn't push. I just nodded and dealt another hand. That became our thing.
I worry that this tiny place won't be enough for us.
Little truths in the dark.
Jules. It's all
She
we had
told me
something
about the
real.
ex who'd promised
then,
forever
poof,
then ghosted her
gone.
after Eve finally said the
It
words,
makes you
I
question
think I might
everything
be
you
into
thought you knew
women.
about that person. Our
I
house was
told her
never
about
quiet.
growing up in a
There was always
house where
someone
love was
yelling or
loud and
laughing or
messy and
slamming
never
the door.
quite enough.
It drove my mom crazy,
We
but
never named it. Never called it love. Just us. Months blurred. Micro moments stacked like kindling. The way she'd leave my favorite oat milk latte on the counter before I even woke up. A little sticky note with a doodle of a sleepy cat. The way I'd find her on the fire escape at 2 a.m. sketching city lights. And I'd sit beside her with 2 blankets and not say anything until she leaned her shoulder into mine. The night she came home from a bad client meeting and I cooked terrible stir-fry just so she'd have something warm. She ate it anyway. Eyes soft. And whispered. I wanted to say, yeah. Instead, I shrugged and bumped her foot under the table. Tension built in the quiet spaces. A brush of fingers when we reached for the same coffee mug. The way her breath would hitch when I walked past her in a towel after a shower. I told myself it was friendship.
Nothing more than that. Yeah.
She
just
told
friends.
herself the same thing. I think. We
can't
were
keep
both
this up,
so
Jules.
good at
Someone's
pretending.
coming. All
Then
right,
Mia
spill it.
happened.
What exactly did you do?
Mia was a regular at the cafe. Bright laugh, easy confidence. The kind of woman who called everyone honey and meant it in the moment. She asked me out
Yes,
after weeks
I
of
would love
flirty
to go on
banter
a
over
date
the
with
counter. I said yes because Eve had been pulling away lately. Working late. Sleeping with her door closed. I figured maybe I was imagining the almosts.
So I
The first
finally made
date
it
was
up to Prairie
fine.
Park, and the view was absolutely worth
The second
climb.
was better.
Oh, wow, it looks incredible.
By the third, I was letting her call me honey because it
You
felt
know
good
you're
to
my
be wanted
favorite,
without
honey.
complications. I
So,
didn't
yeah,
tell
I've
Eve the
actually been
details.
seeing someone casually lately.
I just mentioned I was seeing
Nice.
someone.
Cool.
Her reply had been a single nod and cool. But her eyes had gone distant. Like she was already somewhere else.
How long
Now
have you
here we
known?
were.
Tell me the truth, Eve. It doesn't
Soaked
matter
under the
how
bus
long.
stop.
What matters is what we do now.
And the truth was finally
He's
clawing
gone,
its way
Jules.
out. Eve's
You
voice
said you
cracked
loved
when
me,
she
you
spoke
called me
again.
honey.
You let her call you
But
that.
it was all a lie, wasn't it?
Like it's nothing. It is nothing, I said.
It is
But my
nothing.
heart was hammering. She's just casual.
Mia is just...
Eve laughed again, that same broken sound. Casual. Right. She wiped rain from her face with the heel of her hand. I've spent 2 years telling myself this, whatever this is between us, was just roommates. Just friends. I don't do
trust
relationships,
anyone.
Jules.
I don't trust
I don't trust anyone.
I don't trust...
There it was again,
I don't
that line
trust
she'd said the night the
anyone.
power went out. Only this time it sounded like a door slamming shut. I stepped closer. The rain drummed on the metal roof above us. Her scent, vanilla shampoo and wet denim, hit me so hard I almost closed my eyes. You trust me, I whispered.
Yeah,
She looked at me then.
I do.
Really looked. And the walls cracked wider.
And that terrifies
Yeah,
me.
she said. So quiet I almost missed it. I do. The space between us shrank. I don't remember who moved first. Maybe both of us. Her hand found my waist under my soaked hoodie. Mine cupped the back of her neck. Cold skin and wet hair. Our foreheads touched. I felt her exhale. Shaky and warm against my lips. I've wanted this for so long, she breathed.
Then stop running.
Then stop running, I answered. The kiss was slow. Desperate. and every unsaid thing. Her mouth was soft and certain, like she'd practiced this moment in her head 1,000 times. My fingers tightened in her hair and she made this tiny sound, half sigh, half whimper, that undid me completely. For 30 perfect seconds the world narrowed to just us under that shelter while Seattle poured down around us. Then she pulled back, eyes wide, breathing hard.
Jules, I can't!
Jules, I can't. The words landed like ice water. I stepped back,
What do you mean? I don't
arms
understand
dropping
what
to
you're
my
saying.
sides. What do you mean you can't? Eve hugged herself, looking smaller than I'd ever seen her. My
I tell them
family.
I have a safe, quiet life.
My clients.
My family, my clients.
I've built this whole life where I'm
everyone.
safe.
But look at me,
Quiet.
it's anything but quiet.
If I
can't
do
let
this,
go.
if I let myself
The
love
person
you
I
out
was
loud,
before all
everything
this.
changes.
I protected her
I
for
lose
so
the version of
long,
me
and
I've
now
spent
she's
years
gone.
protecting. Her voice broke. And I'm terrified I'll lose you too when it gets hard.
Don't
There it
pretend You
was.
didn't know. You led me right into this. That's
The
not
real
true.
conflict.
I told you exactly what could happen.
Not some dramatic betrayal. Just the quiet, brutal weight of identity versus the thing pulling us together.
When
Eve
are
had
you
spent her
gonna
whole adult
realize
life building
this is
armor, after the
wrong?
ex, after her conservative hometown. After learning that loving women
It's
openly
not
could cost her
wrong.
jobs, family dinners,
It's who
the fragile
I am.
piece she'd carved out. I'd always been more out, more reckless with my heart. We were the same and we were opposites, and right then it felt impossible. I wanted to argue. To tell her love was worth the risk. But I knew her. Pushing would only make her shut down harder. So I just nodded.
I'm not asking Eve
Throat
to
tight.
burn her life down. Just
I'm not
stop
asking you to burn your
pretending.
life down. I'm asking you to stop pretending this doesn't exist.
I don't know
She
if I
closed her eyes. Rain dripped from the edge of the shelter onto her shoulder. I don't know if I can. We walked home in silence after that. The apartment smelled like the vanilla candle she always burned when she was stressed. I changed into dry clothes in my room while she did the same in hers. When I came out she was on the couch, knees pulled up, staring at nothing. I sat at the other end. Not touching. Remember that night the power went out? I asked softly. She gave the smallest
Tell me
smile.
about the power outage night.
You let
What
me win at
exactly
cards.
happened after I left?
I never let you win, I said. You're just better. A long pause.
You let me win at cards.
Then she reached over and laced her fingers through mine.
I never let you win.
No kiss. No promises. Just that small,
I'm so glad
deliberate
we
touch.
have this place.
I'm scared, she whispered. I know.
I love
I squeezed once, me too. The next few weeks were slow. Careful. That might give way any second.
Are you
We
warm
didn't
enough
label
now?
it.
Yeah.
We
This is
didn't tell
nice.
anyone. But the microtensions shifted into something warmer. She'd leave little sketches on my pillow, us under the bus stop. Rain like curtains around us. I'd make her coffee exactly how she liked it and sit on the counter while she worked. Our bare feet brushing. At night we'd fall asleep on the couch watching old movies. Her head on my shoulder. My hand in her hair. One evening she came home early from a client meeting. Eyes red. I didn't ask. I just pulled her into the kitchen and danced with her to the lo-fi playlist she loved. Slow and silly, until she laughed against my neck. That night we kissed again, deeper this time. In her bed with the city lights painting the walls gold. Her hands trembled when they found my skin. Mine did too. We didn't go further than that. Not yet. It felt too fragile.
It feels too fragile. Fear never
Too
leaves
precious.
completely.
But the fear never left her completely. I'd catch her staring at her phone when her mom called. Thumb hovering like she was deciding whether to answer. I'd see the way she scanned the cafe when we grabbed lunch together. Checking who might see us. The breaking point came on a Friday night 3 weeks later. I'd agreed to meet Mia for drinks. Closure, I told myself. Eve knew. But her jaw had tightened. When I got home around 11, the apartment was dark except for the light under her door. I knocked softly. She opened it wearing my old flannel.
Did you
Eyes puffy.
have fun, Jules?
Did you have fun? The question was careful. Too careful. I stepped inside.
She couldn't see her anymore.
It was fine. I told her I couldn't see her anymore. Eve's shoulders sagged with relief. She tried to hide. Why? Because she's not you. The words felt huge in the quiet room. She never was. She looked at me for a long time. Then she crossed the space between us and kissed me like the world was ending. No hesitation this time.
It's okay.
We
Eve.
fell onto her
We're
bed
safe
in a
here.
tangle of
I
limbs
won't
and
let
whispered
anything happen to
fears.
you.
Her mouth on my collarbone. My hands sliding under the flannel to warm skin. The sound she made, soft gasps. My name like a prayer, filled the room and every empty space I'd been carrying. Afterward we lay tangled together. Her head on my chest. Listening to the rain start up again outside. Her fingers traced lazy circles on my stomach. I still don't know if I can do this the way you deserve, she said into the dark. I might mess it up. I might pull away when it gets hard. But I'm choosing you anyway. Even if it's messy. Even if it's not perfect. I pressed a kiss to her hair. Breathing in the scent of her, us. Messy is fine. I don't need perfect. I just need you trying. She let out a long, shaky breath that sounded like surrender and relief all at once. I don't trust anyone, she whispered. Echoing that old line from the night the power went out. Then she tilted her face up to mine. Eyes shining. Except you. I trust you. We didn't magically fix everything. Her family still doesn't know. Some days she still flinches when someone looks at us too long in public. I still have moments where I wonder if I'm asking too much. But we're here. In this tiny apartment that smells like coffee and vanilla candles and the faint trace of rain on skin. We argue sometimes, quiet. Careful arguments that end in forehead kisses and "I'm sorry." We laugh more. We choose each other every day, even when it's hard.
I love you, honey.
She never admitted she loved
love
me
you
until the
too.
day someone else called me honey. And now, when the rain hits the windows and the city lights blur outside, she says it out loud sometimes, soft, almost shy, like she's still getting used to the sound. I love you, Jules. I say it back every time. Because some things are worth the risk.
Jules.
Even when they're not perfect. Especially when they're not.